there, Rachel here, Treehouse Knits, episode 46. How are you all doing? Something a little different in your screen today. I'm not wearing glasses. I got contacts a couple weeks ago. I am still getting used to them, but it is amazing to be able to see myself in the viewfinder here. I wish the contacts would make me see all of you. That would be kind of cool. But I can actually see without glasses what's going on. So I'm thrilled not to have that glass glare for you. And yeah, I'm just getting used to them. I really like them. So welcome. This is episode 46. Like I said, I have a ton to show you today. I'm going to try and keep it short though and just share with you the basics of what's going on here. I have a bunch of works in progress I want to share, a few simple acquisitions. I have a review on something, and yeah, that should be about it. So I just have a lot of works in progress. I don't know about you, but fall definitely I get in the mood to knit for sure. And I have had a cast-on-itis going on here. And I have heard from a few of you that you're the same in the fall. I just can't stop casting on the things. So why don't we just jump right in? Before we jump right in though, I am Treehouse Knits on all of the socials. Whatever I'm talking about today can be found on my Ravelry page. I'm Treehouse Knits. Friend me on there if you want, or just I will have links in the show notes directly to my projects on Ravelry. If you're interested in knowing more of the details, don't worry about writing stuff down right now. I also can be found a lot on Instagram. I'm Treehouse Knits on Instagram. That's really the way that I love to connect with you all mostly. So check me out there if you want to see kind of the daily goings on with me and my making. I do a lot of other making outside of knitting. I know this is called Treehouse Knits, but I'm contemplating changing the name of this podcast to Treehouse Fiber Arts, just because I love to spin, I love to sew, I love to crochet lately. I like all the fiber arts, and recently my mother-in-law sent to me her loom that she had purchased, and that's going to be something that I look forward to trying to set up and get going on the weaving as well. So, oh, and I love my knitting machine. You know, I've been doing a lot of socks on the knitting machine. I've done some machine knittings that I want to share with you today as well. So, what do you think if I change the name to Treehouse Fiber Arts just to make it more indicative of who I am? Okay, so why don't we get started? I think last time I talked to you about our Greater Grand Rapids Knitting Guild, and I know a few of you watchers of the podcast in the Greater Grand Rapids area have joined us, and it has been so nice that you guys decided to join us in the guild. Our knit along this year is a Salbu mitten. So this is the final version. I'll hold it like this so you can see it in the screen. This is the final version. This is a pattern. It's a free pattern on Ravelry. It's just called Norwegian Salbu mitten. The pattern actually has a ribbing for the cuff, and there's actually a picture in there of someone who modified the cuff, and she sort of modified it like this. So I used that loosely as a motif or a pattern for our guild cal, and I went ahead and just made that out online, made the pattern online, and I'm sharing it with the guild members, that particular pattern. But here it is. Here's the back. We at the guild we learned about the Latvian braid last week, and we're going to be jumping into the color work next time we meet in November, and we will be doing these increases, how to read a Salbu mitten pattern. So that's what's next in November, but that's been a lot of fun to do that knit along. I'll put a link in the show notes. So the yarn that I used here is Rauma, as well as a, gosh, I always forget the name of it. Here's the stuff. As well as this, and I shouldn't forget the name of it because I love this yarn. The blue is a Norwegian yarn. Let me show you I'm using the 3 weight Stricka yarn for that oatmeal grayish color. But the blue is actually Norsk Pelsel by Hifa, which I believe is now called Tinde, by the Hillsvåg mill in Norway. It's gorgeous. It's traditional Norwegian spell saw sheep. The base is a grayish, the natural color, and then they over dye it with the blue. And I've showed it to you on the podcast before, but I love it. It's been fun to see all the different yarns that people are using in the guild. And if you want to try these Norwegian sailboat mittens for the first time yourself, I highly recommend that free pattern. It's very well done. And I was contemplating actually doing a few tutorials on here for each step. So if that's something you'd be interested in, let me know down below in the comments for sure. Okay, some of the other stuff that I've started doing. This first one, I was watching a few podcasts and saw Hoey Locatelli's Super Simple Summer Sweater. And I don't know, it really spoke to me. It's not really the sweater that she knit is I believe a cotton wool blend, so that she considers that summer. There's no way I could wear a sweater like that in the summer, so mine's really a super simple fall or winter sweater. But I wanted to see if I could use some stash. It's a worsted weight sweater. Some of you have seen already online what I used. The yarns that I used from my stash, I found 2 skeins each. This bottom one is a CVM Merino Cross from Never Say Never Farm here just a few miles south of me. And it's just a beautiful, soft, gorgeous skein. The sheep's name was Storm. And this one up here, the blue, is actually from Sincere Sheep. It's a naturally dyed skein. And this skein here is actually from a Knit Crate membership crate. And it is, the colorway is Whiskey. And it's their Vita Lana Ambient Worsted. It's their 100% Peruvian Highland wool, which is a combination of merino and corriedale. And wow, what a combination I think those two sheep make. The merino makes it super, super soft, and the corriedale is soft as well, but it gives it more of a sheepy feel. So I feel like these 3 yarns really go well together. The Sincere Sheep is actually 100% Targhee. So if I recall, Targhee is the breed that's used in Brooklyn tweed, so that'll give you kind of an idea of the feel for that. So these are my 3 colors. The pattern only called for 2 colors, but I thought I saw a few patterns online that were 3. And here, let's see, here is where I'm at. I'll just kind of show it like that. I'm down at the bottom now doing the ribbing by the waist. You know, I'm not sure if I'm going to love this sweater or not. We shall see. I can back up a little bit. I'm not sure I'll have enough of this whiskey colorway for the sleeves. A follower on Instagram suggested I just use what little bit I have and make some micro stripes on the sleeves. I might try that as well, but it is a really super simple sweater. It's just a basic yoke sweater. It's in worsted weight, so it's been going really, really fast. And I'm actually using a needle size 2 needle sizes larger than Hoey, than her pattern. I think Hoey, what would she be? Would she be a really, I don't know. I find on all of Hoey Locatelli's patterns, I have to go up 2 needle sizes. So I don't know. What does that make me? I'm a tighter knitter than Hoey. So anyways, if you want to see the progress, I am posting about it on Instagram. And so far, I'm, you know, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm probably about a 6. I'm not like really, really excited to wear this. I think it might look really good with maybe some leggings, some brown boots, maybe like a chambray colored shirt underneath. I don't know. I don't have any of those things. So if I'm going to style it, I guess I got to go buy some clothes. We'll see. We'll see. So on a scale of 1 to 10, yeah, I'm about at a 6 with that one. So that is, I'm calling it the SSS Hoey, I think, online. It sounds like a ship, doesn't it? But it's the super simple summer sweater. Hoey Locatelli. The other another project that I've been working on, I watched, I don't know if it was the latest episode of Espace Tricot, but they had a new version of their Getting Warmer wrap. And I'm actually wearing the Getting Warmer wrap in the bulky weight. I love this thing. I love wearing it. I love that I can bunch it all up into a cowl for underneath a coat. But then when I get to the destination, I can just kind of pull the sleeves down and, or pull the shoulders down and just kind of wrap up in it. They came out with a new version of it that combines, I think it's just a fingering weight merino with a mohair lace. So my husband, he was in Vancouver. I don't know if I shared this with you, but he came back from Vancouver with two really cool skeins. He was on Granville Island, and there's a place called the Fiber Arts Studio on Granville Island. Did I talk about this last time? I don't know if, I don't think I did. But he bought me two skeins of this colorway called Supernova. Check this out. I know I shared this on Instagram, but this colorway is gorgeous. Oh, it's really gorgeous. I have had in my stash this Kid Seda from Trendsetter Yarn, 70% kid mohair, 30% silk, and it's I think it's just a lace weight mohair. So I wondered what it would look like if we combined the two for that pattern. And I love, love, love what it turned out to look like. So here's where I'm at with the pattern. Look at it. Oh, it's just stunning. This would be stunning without the black mohair too, but this just tones it down, and I think it's going to look amazing underneath my black coat. But this is actually the neck part, and now I'm doing the increases down here for the shoulder, and I'm hoping, I know I have enough yarn. It's going to be stunning. I might make it a little bigger than the pattern specifies. Actually, they have a small, medium, and a large, and I'm doing the large, so we'll see if it turns out as big as I want it. I kind of want to use up all the yarn, so I just can't imagine, you know, bigger is better, I think, in those kind of things, in this kind of scarf, so, or in this kind of cowl. So that one I love, and I think on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm at a 10. I cannot wait to wear that one, and I can't knit it fast enough. I'm curious, though, if the mohair is going to bother my eyes and my contacts. Do you notice when podcasters are knitting with mohair, they're showing off mohair, a few minutes later into their podcast, they're like, you know, oh, I got mohair in my eyes. It just cracks me up. I don't do a lot with mohair. Really, this is the first thing I think I'm doing with mohair, so we shall see. We shall see how I like it. Okay, let's see. Okay, so we talked about that one. The other project was itching to get my knitting machine going, and I purchased this yarn. This is a gorgeous, gorgeous yarn from Mrs. Crosby Loves to Play. It's their satchel yarn base, and it's called Wild Huckleberry. I actually bought this on deep discount on Blueprint. Might have been when they were switching over. And I'll show you what I'm making. Let's see if I have a picture here. If I don't have a picture of it, I'm sure you guys have all seen it. This is the picture. It's called Gardengate, and it's by Knit Love Wool, who is Jennifer Steingass. Every time I see this online, someone wearing it, I love it. I think it's just really cool, and I especially love it. I mean, that looks like a garden gate. And it reminds me of when we went to Salzburg and the gates, the black gates that were around the cemetery that The Sound of Music was filmed in when they were hiding from the Nazis. I really wanted to use this Mrs. Crosby Loves to Play yarn, and I really wanted to use black for the garden gates. So I went ahead and I ran the body stitches through, and here is what the body looks like for me. The pink at the bottom is the waste yarn that I will pull off, and from that point downward I will make the ribbing at the bottom of it. I think it has ribbing, but anyway, let me roll it all the way up. This is the point where I'm going to connect it. I'm going to do a Kitchener all the way around. I'm going to Kitchener the yoke to this body, and I have started the yoke. The black that I'm using is, I think it's just a basic Malabrigo. Yeah, it's Malabrigo sock, but it's 100% superwash merino wool, so there's no nylon in it. So here is the yoke. Look at how the black is looking in there. I have it all crunched up. You know, when I do color work, I really like to crunch it all up onto a small needle. It just is a lot easier for me. I don't know. I tried it with a bigger needle because it's fun to kind of see the motif as it's coming, you know, along, but just constantly moving all of those stitches around. I don't know, if you're having troubles with that, try a smaller needle. But you can see the gate is coming. Isn't that cool with the purple? I think it's kind of Halloween-y. I don't know, feels very Halloween-y to me. So anyway, I'm holding it upside down. I just do not want to lose stitches. But this is the neck. And yeah, so when I get done with that yoke, I think what I'm going to do is Kitchener it to the body. You know what I have to do though? I have to make the sleeves on the knitting machine. And the sleeves actually have some color work on them at the wrists, which I really want to do. I think it looks really cool. So I may just knit on the machine up to the sleeves, or up to the part where the motif is, and put some waste yarn on there, cast off, and then pick up the stitches and knit the color work from there. So I guess I'll have to have the sleeves done and the body done on the knitting machine and the yoke done, and then I can Kitchener it all together. I don't know. We're just taking it a step at a time, and yeah, I'm really excited about this sweater. I'm really excited about this fabric. I don't think I told you what the Mrs. Crosby loves to play blend is, but it's super, super soft. It's also a singles yarn, which I've never used for a sweater. It went really well through the machine. I mean, it's really smooth, and it's a beautiful yarn to knit with. I'm sure it'll pill, and I'll deal with that with my gleaner, no big deal. It is 100% superwash merino wool, so there is no blend. It's just superwash merino, machine wash cold. So we'll see. Again, it was really deeply discounted. I thought it would be good practice on my knitting machine when I got it. I think this sweater, I have maybe $50 in for the whole sweater. So I think that's pretty good for something that I'm trying out this technique with. You know, I got this bag at Rhinebeck last year. Today is Friday. What is it? October 17th. It's a Needles Up day, Friday. Everybody's going to Needles Up. I'm seeing pictures. In fact, I think Needles Up starts in a few minutes, because I think it starts at 1. Actually, right now is the VIP hour. But anyway, I don't remember where I got this bag. I love sweater weather. I love this bag. It was a tote bag, and I just boxed the bottom, and now it just makes such a nice sweater bag. I really like it. I'm tempted to take some markers. When I got it, that little heart in there, that stitch was green. I'm tempted to color on here a little bit. And I was considering putting a zipper on the top too, inserting a zipper, but you know, it's kind of fun to take. I wasn't using it because it didn't have a box bottom, and it occurred to me, Rachel, you can make a box bottom. So I just took it to the sewing machine and boxed it. So maybe rethink some of those tote bags that you have that you're not using. Maybe you're not using them because they don't sit up nice. Just a thought. Okay, so I think that takes me to, yeah, I did work on some socks. Let me show you a pair too. Got it in my sock basket. I do many of you long timers to the podcast know, when I got the knitting machine, I learned how to do the socks on the knitting machine, make the tube, and then I hand make the heels and toes. Let me show you. I'm not going to take it out of the package, but this is a Legacy Fiber Arts Little Shop of Horror sock kit that I got. Isn't that blue really cool? And look at how Sue dyes her yarn. There's no pooling in these. They're so cool. This was their, I told you, Little Shop of Horrors, the sock kit. It came with the blue. I thought that was an interesting choice for the green. Really loved how those turned out. I also put through the machine a couple of, well, a skein or maybe two of some of my yarn that I got when I was in was I? I think it was Germany, not Austria. It was the $5 bin at this yarn store. You know what? It was in Freiburg. It was the yarn store that I stumbled across that had the most amazing selection of sock yarns, and they sold underwear. It was a sock yarn underwear store. But love how this came out of the machine. Really, really cool. And I've got it ready. This is how far along I get the socks ready before I maybe gift them. On the sock machine, I'm able, look at how cool that looks off the sock machine. I do the ribbing flat on my knitting machine. I have a double bed machine, which allows you to do ribbing. And then I take all the stitches off the front bed and add them to the back bed needles. And then I'm able to knit in the round on the machine. So it comes out of the machine looking like this, and then I go ahead and just add the toe on at the bottom. When I gift them to someone, I take into account their foot size, and that's where I'll insert the afterthought heel. I keep the extra yarn inside the sock. So that's kind of how I store them in this little basket ready to be gifted, and I keep the tag so I like to give the tag with the sock if I can, just so they know how to take good care. Speaking of sock yarn on the knitting machine, the woolly thistle. We love the woolly thistle here at Treehouse Knits. Corinne, she had a supply of West Yorkshire Spinners signature 4-ply in their Christmas color, and I love that their Christmas color isn't too Christmassy, because my husband and whoever else gets a pair of these socks can really wear them all year round. I ended up going with the complimentary color she offered. What is it called? I think it's like cinnamon or something. I don't know what it is. 450, it's 580. Doesn't have a name here, but on her site, it's the most calm color. I don't know though if it really goes. I might end up not using that. I really actually like to make heels and toes out of the same, even if it does do a pattern. I like how the heel looks because it turns into like a bullseye effect. So I might save this pretty color just for some, you know, plain socks with some sort of patterning. But check it out. I think it's called, boy, I wish they had the name of this. It came with this really nice Season's Greetings from Yorkshire Spinners. Here's what it looks like. Aren't they cool? That's what sold me. I love that gray in there. It came with a pattern for the socks if you want to use them. The pattern is like robin or something like that. Using robin. Yeah, so it's robin. Like the bird, I guess. Not like Batman's buddy, who I had such a major crush on when I was a little girl. The Batman and Robin show would be on. I was maybe 4 or 5. My dad would ask me in the morning before school, "Did you have any nice dreams?" And I'd say, "Yes, I dreamt about Robin." I guess that makes sense. There's a robin on the front. But because I got 2 skeins, she sent me 2 of these cards that I guess I could give as a gift. That would be a nice Christmas gift for someone. I will have to think about that. Okay, so that is my purchase from the Woolly Thistle. Thank you, Corinne. Okay. Oh, the knit crate. Oh my gosh. You know, I loved last month's knit crate so much, and we actually got it late in the month. I think they ran out of knit crate boxes for us affiliates, but I'm so glad that they sent it to me anyway, because it's, I don't even think where did I put it? I put it somewhere safe. It's this, check it out. I'm going to put a link here. I don't know if you can get it now, and I think I should probably take that out of the podcast here, but I loved last month so much. It was a merino and a silk blend, and the colors were beautiful. I didn't think that I would love a yarn even more for October, more than last month. This one came earlier than I've ever gotten a knit crate before. Oh my, oh my. I wrote about it on Instagram. I think I did a post on it. This yarn is spectacular. This yarn, let me pull out the information here. First of all, it's their Vitalana Ascendance colorway that I got was Ancient Ruin. Look at, It's showing up the colors really well on the camera. It's just more subtle from a distance. It looks like just a really beautiful tonal green. It's 100% fine Peruvian Highland wool. You know, I mentioned that Highland wool is a cross between merino and corriedale, two amazing fibers. And it's in a sport weight, 328 yards in this skein. What's really neat is the suggested needle size. You could use this yarn on maybe, say, a DK weight project, but you could also use this yarn for a worsted almost to an Aran project because of the way the yarn is constructed and just the properties of corriedale especially. So you could use this on a size 5 to a 10 needle. So any project that you get between a DK and an Aran weight, you could consider this for. I think I'm gonna find a bulky weight, maybe like a cardigan kind of sweater with a little bit of detail. But I wanna show you the construction. Do you see it's that chainette construction? So think Woolfolk, far, I think it's far. That chainette construction creates such a beautiful airiness in between each strand that holds in the warmth, but it's so light. This skein is just so light. So, I mean, how nice is it when you're wearing, think about like a white or a lightweight down jacket, you stay warm, but it's not pulling you down, it's not heavy. Same thing with this kind of yarn. It is definitely soft. I don't feel any pricks or anything. It's not like a 100% merino super soft. This is a woolly soft. This is actually, I think, what wool should feel like personally, but I mean, it's spectacular. The other colors are amazing. There's the natural color. The colorway is like something with cobblestones or something. It's beautiful. And then the third color is this gorgeous fuchsia, purpley. Oh, you have to check it out. If you're able to get some of these skeins, I would, you know, they do the double down thing every month. Once the month is over and this goes on discount, I highly recommend you think about grabbing some because this is a really special yarn and the price that they sell it is amazing. It also, this is kind of their homage to Peru. Here's the inspirations book that it came with. Look at that. Oh, what a gorgeous shawl. Yes, its theme and inspiration is Journey to Peru. There are the other colors. You know how tonal that is. Think about how tonal in real life that would be. I don't think I can get up close for that, but oh, yeah, gorgeous. And the patterns, I mean, I love that shawl, but you get all those patterns in the booklet. Oh, that colorway looks amazing on her gorgeous hair. Oh, with her gorgeous hair. So, ooh, check out this month's Knit Crate, you guys. I do have a link down below if you're interested. It'll take you right to it. I'm an affiliate of Knit Crate. I'm proud to be an affiliate of Knit Crate because I truly love their yarns and their price points are great for this high quality of yarn. Oh, you know what? It also came with a Peruvian stitch marker that was created as special for Knit Crate. Here it is. It is a bead from Peru. I think they might be made in Peru. And on the back, you have a 20% off code on Knit Crate, which expires by the end of the year. One-time use only, does not apply to clubs, which would be great for adding to, you know, if you wanted to get a few more skeins of this to make a sweater. I know I'm going to be making a sweater. So anyway, check that out. Knit Crate for the month. Next month, the booklet has the sneak peek. Beneath the Waves. Ooh, look at those jewel tones down below. How pretty. Yep, November 2019. Okay, that's Knit Crate. Ooh, you know what else I joined? Do you guys follow Daisy Lane Designs on Instagram? She does some really great Instagrams. If you're a sewer, she is a sewer turned knitter. I am a knitter turned a little bit of a sewer. So I really appreciate her tutorials on Instagram especially. And she's doing a really neat thing next year, starting in January. She is calling it the Daisy Lane Designs 2020 Sew Along. Let me just read to you what it's about. I've joined up And I think it was like $12 or $18 for the whole year. Every month she's coming out with a different pattern. But let me read about it. Last month I teased about the idea of a less waste sew-along. Since then we've had 10 people sign up and I'm getting excited to start making things. If you are interested in joining us, we'd love to have you. The focus will be on less kitchen waste. I will be providing 12 filmed sewing classes, and then in parentheses, a different item each month that will be posted to a private Facebook group for members. Once a month, I will also host a live video in that group for questions, etc. There will be sharing and posting and overall sewing encouragement in the group, as well as members sharing their tips, ideas, and strategies for less kitchen waste. And yeah, the cost is $12 until November 30th, and it's $24 after that. So, I mean, $1 a pattern. Wow. And some of the, I wish I had listed some of the patterns, or some of the projects, but they all have to do with using these items that we're sewing in the kitchen. Like, oh, I should be more prepared. But anyway, check it out. If you're interested, join us. I think there's more than 10 of us now on that Facebook group, and it's fun people on there. We will have a good time just making those small little projects each month and communicating with each other on the Facebook page. She does, on her Daisy Lane's Design Facebook page group, she has a welcome video that will explain it a lot better than I just did. She sent to me a while ago this really cute pouch that I think is meant for saving money for beauty related items or haircuts, colors, that kind of thing. She makes these little pouches. You should see all the cool things she's making. She likes to sew little things, as do I. I think they're very fun, but she makes these cash envelopes, and it has different themes, and it's just a way to save money throughout the month so that it doesn't feel as much of a burden when the expense comes, kind of thing. But check her out. That's how she, I think, got started kind of in the online arena. Sounds so formal, Allison. But anyway, check that out. Another thing I wanted to tell you about. I was so excited when Knit Companion contacted me via Stitchcraft Marketing, thank you so much, and wanted me to try out their new version of Knit Companion. Now, I had the old version, like really old version, that when the next version I think was made, I ended up getting what was it called? Not vintage, not archived, like a grandfather version. I don't know what they called it, and I did have it on my phone and on my iPad. And what I used it for was really just to put a chart PDF, like if I was working on the mittens or a hat that had a chart, a colorwork chart. I loved using, they have these virtual highlighters that show where you are, and you just click on them and it moves up one row. Really helpful. I loved using those for my charts. But as time went by, I don't know, I stopped using my iPad for a while and I ended up just going back to the old way. And so I was excited when I heard that Knit Companion had been revamped and modernized. How did I use it? So I have been using the app on my phone for all of the projects that I just talked about. So since I got the app, I got it a month ago, and I have to say the user face is really nice. They've added some additional features, but let me just kind of tell you how I use it. So for example, on the Gardengate sweater, I knew that had some written instructions for the body, and it also had charted instructions for the yoke, for the Gardengate motif. So I uploaded that PDF. Actually, I purchased it in Ravelry, so it was in my Ravelry library. So within Knit Companion, you have a direct link to Ravelry, so anything in your library on Ravelry can automatically be put into Knit Companion. So really simple. I just went into Knit Companion, clicked on Ravelry, typed in the name of the pattern, Gardengate was there, clicked on it, and it went into Knit Companion. Then you're able to open it up, and in the past I've only used Knit Companion for marking my charts. And I thought this time, well, I'll see what it's like for just a regular written out pattern. I loved it. I used the same guide that I used in the charts in the pattern, and when I'd stop, I would make sure that I just put a mark right there. You're also able to, I believe you hold down on there until this red little icon pops up, and that will show you where you left off in your pattern. It also gives you the option of like 6 maybe row counters, which you can take away as many as you need. So in most cases I just need 1 counter, which I used for keeping track of what round I was on. And that's just a simple touch of the button. When I'd be done, I would just shut down. I wanted to see if the next time I opened it up, I was just skeptical. Will it all be there right? I mean, it's a little nerve-wracking to trust something like that. Companion sent me, oh, where did I put it? Some really too cute, and I'm going to be giving one of these away. This is actually a stand for your phone or your iPad. I've been using it and it works great. It's got the little Knit Companion logo on it. It's exactly what I needed, just so that my phone would be standing up straight. I have not yet put it on my old iPad, simply because it works well on my iPhone. I have a bigger sized iPhone. What is that? iPhone Plus. So I see exactly what I need to see, and you can blow it up if you want. Another really cool feature for Selbu mittens, a lot of times the pattern for the Selbu mitten will only come in maybe say a right hand version, and then the pattern will just say do the reverse for the left pattern, meaning, you know, just do the reverse, put the thumb here instead. Well, then I'd go to the copy machine. I would, you know, it took me a while to figure out how to reverse something on the copy machine. Well, on Knit Companion, you just press the reverse image button and it does it for you instantly. That is huge. So if you are a Selbu mitten or any mitten pattern that doesn't give you both the right and the left hand, that is really, really cool. So thank you so much for sending me a version of this to try out. I love it, and I'm definitely going to continue on. I think the version that I have is something like $19 a year, and I have to admit, I thought that was kind of, at first, not knowing what was in the Knit Companion, I was like, wow, let's see if this is really worth $19. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I spend $19 on a pair of needles that I use all year, and this I'm using even more than 1 set of needles. I'm using it with every single pattern. I can imagine when I'm traveling how amazing that'll be to bring a few projects with, and they're all on Knit Companion, easy to pull up. So cool. Thumbs up for me. Thank you, Knit Companion, for sharing it with me. And yeah, take a look at it. If you are interested, go to, I guess they have a Knit Companion Ravelry group. They're active on Twitter, Pinterest, Facebook, and Instagram. They're at Knit Companion. I just came back from the library, and I had a couple of books that I had on hold for me. The first one, I think this book is a few years old. It's Stitched Sewing Organizers. It says Pretty Cases, Boxes, Pouches, Pin Cushions, and More by Angela Hoey. I don't know if I'm saying her name right, but I wanted to take a look at this book. I was on Instagram going through some stories, and a stitcher that I follow, Southern Stitcher, Jo, she is also a sewist, and she was making a really, really cool divided kind of traveler's notebook, but it was using plastics and fabrics, or I should say vinyls and fabrics, and it was for stitching projects. And the designer was this woman, and I thought, ooh, let's see if she's got, you know, what books does she have, and this one came up. So I'm going to take a look at this book this month. I wonder if there is a page that has all the projects. I have not even looked at it. I just picked this up like an hour ago. But here are some of the cool projects. There's just all kinds of things to hold, needlework, sewing, even, I mean, a lot of these items would be great for knitting projects as well. Super fun. Okay, the other book, I actually did not know about this book. I walked in and they had an area with the new releases that came out, and sometimes they'll, instead of having all the books like this, they'll make one book like this so you can see it. Well, the one book like this, oh my gosh, Japanese knitting stitches from Tokyo's Kazekobo Studio. You know I'm gonna have to look that one up. Kazekobo Studio in Tokyo. I have the Japanese stitch knitting book. What is it, Knitting Bible or something? But this is new to me. This is a dictionary of 200 stitch patterns by Yoko Hatta. I don't know. These are, they're lace. This will be super fun to look through. So, did you know about this book? I don't know why I haven't heard about this book. Yoko Hatta is the designer behind the Japanese knitting studio Kazekobo. A prolific artist whose work spans over 30 years, she has written numerous knitwear books and stitch dictionaries and contributed to many magazines and compilations in both Japan and the US. She is a contributor to Brooklyn Tweed, that's why I've heard of her, and Vogue Knitting, and over 1,000 of her designs can be seen on Ravelry. Wow, her work is known for adding contemporary flair to classic garments. And did you just notice that I read that without glasses? How cool. Yeah, I have the Japanese Knitting Stitch Bible. Here are some of the other books available. But anyway, if your library has this, check it out. Maybe it's a book you want to have for your library at home. Some projects give knitters a chance to sample Hatta's techniques. Mini mufflers in fun colors and stripes using knit and purl stitches, a cozy scalloped edge scarf using lace stitches, a beautifully textured pair of mittens using cable and Aran stitches, and a stylish and sturdy pair of two-tone socks using rib stitches. Wonder if there are pictures of them in the back. Here are the pictures of the patterns. There's the scarf, socks. Those mittens are very cute. Ooh, I might have to do the mittens. Very cute. Okay, last thing I want to share with you, book club book. I just finished this today while I was waiting for our car getting new tires on it. I think I'm going to give it a 5 on Goodreads, which is the highest. The book was called Annie's Ghosts. It's by Steve Luxenberg. It is a true story about a journey into a family secret. Steve Luxenberg is a journalist, and he discovered a secret about his family, and it has to do with mental illness, especially in the, say, 1920s to 1970s. And it takes place, well, all of his research and his family lived in Michigan in the Detroit area. So it was especially relevant to me because I'm from Michigan. I don't think I mentioned that. If you're new here, I'm from Michigan on the west side, outside of Grand Rapids, Michigan. But it's called Annie's Ghosts. And it was really neat. If you're someone who enjoys, what's that show? I think it's on TLC, Long Lost Family, or Who Do You Think You Are? It's definitely a book like that. It's a longer book, but it didn't read long. I didn't really want to put it down. It also includes pictures of his family. I thought it was really interesting to hear the way that he did his research. In the back of the book, he has a huge notes section that includes every bit of background on where he got the information from, and he did an amazing job of research. So while he's researching into his family, he's learning about historical events that shaped the reasons why the family made decisions the way they did or were the way that they were, and you learn about what was going on in history as well. So Annie's Ghosts, Steve Luxenberg, check it out. Definitely check it out. It was I think it has won one of Washington Post's best books of 2009. So it's an older book. Well, 10 years old. But check that one out. Highly, highly recommend. Okay, so we've reached to the end of the podcast. I would like to give away this really cute stand that I got from Knit Companion. And I will also throw in a few goodies. So if you're interested in that, I have a question for you to answer down below. What are you doing while you're watching this right now? And how do you watch me? Am I on your little phone right now? Am I like huge on your huge big screen TV? Are you just listening to me in the car and you don't even ever see my face? I'm just curious how you all listen and watch. So let me know down below what you're working on, or what are you doing this instant while you're watching me, and how are you watching me? Write that down below, and I will put together kind of a fun little package, which also includes this curve stand from Knit Companion. So I hope you guys are well. It has been a beautiful fall so far. I'm looking out my window up here in my studio and I am seeing leaves changing, leaves falling. Everybody's going to Rhinebeck this weekend, so I'm excited to live through the pictures on Instagram. I think they're gonna have a gorgeous weekend there, for sure. We have a weekend here of cleaning out our garage. If you live in the northern states, fall is when you want to make sure that all your cars fit in the garage, because come winter when we get lots of snow, you want to make sure there are no cars outside that have to be scraped for sure. So we are working on cleaning out the garage this weekend. My 16-year-old son just got his driver's license and is driving himself places now. So that has freed, it's a new freedom. I'm just not sure I'm not sure how I feel about it yet because it just started this week. He drove himself to his sailing practice on his own, and he drove him and his brother to Boy Scouts. So it's just a weird feeling for sure. Last night, my younger son, who's in 8th grade, he's the class president of the 8th grade class. They had a special charity dinner and they asked him to do the opening prayer. So we went to that and he did a great job. He was a little nervous, but he got through it and did a really nice job. So that was fun. And yeah, so we're just looking forward to working on that garage this weekend. I would rather be up in my studio doing some knitting, but we gotta clean out the garage for sure. And that's really all that's going on around here. Oh, well, no, the one big thing is that I did get that loom from my mother-in-law, which maybe I'll insert a picture here of what it looks like right now. I have to figure out how to put that together, which will be so fun. I love to figure out stuff like that. And boy, it would be so fun if I could get going on that loom. Do you ever feel like you just have too many things that you want to do? I want to also get going on my stitching. I would love to do a little bit more sewing. I have some ideas for some projects. I want to crochet. There's a couple of new crochet blankets out there that I love. Have you guys seen what's it called? Not falling leaves. I don't know, it's some cal that's going on right now that it's a block a week and there's videos and you use that river washed, what's the brand? It's an acrylic cotton blend that actually looks like something I would knit with. It looks really nice and I can't think of, sheep cheese. Really want to try out that yarn. Anyway, I hope life is treating you well. I hope you're enjoying the fall season if you're here in the Northern Hemisphere. And I hope that I see you on the next episode of Treehouse Knits. Bye.